Hello, dear friend. Tonight, we'd like to share a gentle story from the fair of past, softly, quietly, so you can drift toward peaceful sleep. Make yourself snug under a blanket, let your body sink into comfort, and take a slow, calming breath, in and out. As you listen, allow your mind to wander to a quiet, candlelit world, centuries ago. This is the story of a slave who quietly changed the fate of Rome, a tale whispered in calm moments, away from grandeur and strife. Let's begin. Imagine a calm, late afternoon in Rome, perhaps around 130 BC. The city hums with gentle activity, merchants closing their stalls, distant cattle bells, the soft shuffle of togas. Within a modest home near the Subura district, lives a household of subtle contrasts. Father, mother, children, and several household slaves going about their daily tasks. You might see the cook kneading dough in a corner, the baker's warm scent drifting in. Near the atrium, a maid gently arranges fresh flowers in a shallow bowl of water, their reflected petals shimmering. Another slave polishes bronze utensils under a low-hanging oil lamp. Slaves in Rome did not always remain silent shadows. They carried stories, skills, and hearts. Our central figure was one such person, whose quiet competence and gentle wisdom would one day tip the balance of power in the city. Let us follow the routine of this quiet servant, whom we'll call Lucius, though that was not his birth name. Lucius rises before dawn. The first light of day is pale blue, slipping between wooden shutters. He draws water from a stone well in the courtyard, the bucket's rope echoing softly against cool marble. With care, Lucius lights the hearth fire for the household, laying small twigs before larger logs, coaxing a gentle flame. The low crackle warms the kitchen's stone floor. Soon, the cook arrives to begin a humble breakfast, porridge of barley sweetened with honey, fresh figs sliced and laid in a clay dish. As the family stirs and the children rise, Lucius helps dress them, straightening togas, fastening light cloaks over their shoulders for a morning walk. He walks them to the nearby school, the children's laughter dancing through narrow streets. Lucius's own feet tread the worn stones, carrying him home to prepare midday. Throughout the day, Lucius's duties shift. He fetches wax tablets and stylus for his master's brief writings. He tends a modest garden in the rear courtyard, where peregrine lettuce and scented herbs sway in a gentle breeze. He delivers messages to neighbors, his voice quiet, respectful, courteous. Slavery in Rome, especially in sculpted households, was layered, yet Lucius carried his tasks with care. Within households like these, relationships slowly formed, glances of gratitude, small nods of trust. The master, Gaius Rufus, was a thoughtful man, more interested in conversation than conquest. He appreciated Lucius's steadiness. At times, late in the evening, after supper by the flicker of oil lamps, Gaius would ask Lucius to sit and read a short letter or recite public notices. Night whispers drifted across the atrium. Lucius would softly speak of distant places, of grain arriving by ship, of olive oil amphorae glinting in the harbor. Gaius listened, eyes half closed, soothed by the gentle sound of his slave's voice. In these moments, Lucius was more than a servant. He was a quiet companion, a bearer of knowledge. Rome in that time was a place of shifting fortunes. Yet Lucius did not speak of politics with fanfare, only with measured observations. He noticed how Gaius paused before supporting one proposal or another. One day, Lucius softly remarked that the grain supply from Sicily seemed heavy that season. Perhaps a shift in meaner contributions might be wiser. Gaius, believing it his own idea, implemented a small reform. He instructed a merchant friend to include Sicilian grain for poorer districts. It was a quiet kindness, but Lucius would later smile, knowing his gentle words had prompted it. Gradually, Lucius became known for subtlety. He understood when to speak, when to remain silent. The master came to value his perspective, especially on matters of daily life, how best to care for aging elders, reminders that spring storms might damage roofs, or that a nearby spring might soon need cleaning. Here, in these soft exchanges, Lucius's influence grew, not by shouting, but by steady presence. In a hushed, ordinary moment, Lucius's careful observations came to a head. A severe winter had passed, the damaged roofs were leaking, and grain stores were dwindling. Gaius considered exporting remaining reserves, but Lucius, softly, with quiet confidence, suggested preserving them for local welfare rather than sending them far. He spoke of children in cold homes and elders who might fall ill. Gaius, persuaded by this gentle logic, redirected shipments to Rome's poorer quarters. It was not a grand speech, but a steady whisper that carried weight. And quietly, without tumult or ceremony, Gaius's decision helped many. In the hush before dawn, Gaius thought of Lucius and the power of thoughtful restraint, the realization that even a slave, with patient insight, could guide a patrician's choices toward kindness. Life in Rome continued. Markets opened, children played, temple bells rang for minor festivals. Yet beneath everyday rhythms, the subtle welfare improvements made earlier began to shape small patterns. Families had enough grain, roofs held off spring rains. Gaius's household became known for its generosity, not through proclamation, but through quiet provision. Lucius, ever humble, continued his tasks, caring, observing, guiding. He taught children to hold a wax tablet carefully. He quietly corrected the scribe's mistakes. He fetched fine water for guests without announcement. In every act, he showed mindful service. And so, dear listener, through countless small moments, the presence of one careful servant shaped the fate of one household, and gently, the lives of many beyond its walls. There was no fanfare, no recorded decree, no statue raised in his honor. His story lives in the unspoken kindnesses of days past, in the heart's warmth, the careful layer of grain in a storehouse, the calm way in which a man listened and acted. In our own days, perhaps we too can learn from Lucius, that true change need not be loud. It can be soft. It can be slow. It can be patient. But it can ripple outward. As our story concludes, you may find your eyelids growing heavy, each breath slows in and out. Let your mind settle like calm water. Think of candlelight, ivy-covered walls, hearthstone comfort, and gentle footsteps on marble. Lucius's soft story rests now in the night, and you too can rest. Sleep gently, friend. Let peace surround you, like the quiet atrium under the soft moonlight. Tomorrow is unwritten. Tonight, only come. Good night.